calm down. How y'all doing? Back with day 3. All right, so first before I start, I want to say thank you to the people that came out to the webinar today. It was a great time. I shared some great information. If you would like the replay, if you couldn't sign up or if you forgot to register, send me a message with your email and I can add you to my email list so that way I can send you the replay so that way you don't miss out on what I gave today, talking about the woman in the mirror, talking about not living full out, talking about not living in your true, ordained, real purpose in life. Basically, letting somebody else live for you because you're too afraid to deal with the pain, you're too afraid to deal with the hurt, you're too afraid to deal with the shame. So you let that woman in the mirror live your life for you. And it's time to stop doing that. All right. What I'm talking about today, so this is my last day talking about the same thing, the quitter cycle, why we quit. All right. So I'm going to start with me. I'm going to start with number 3. So I'm going to talk about me. I quit because I do not get the affirmation from other people that I'm looking for. Yep. That's why we quit. I'm going to roll this back a little bit. I hope it doesn't fall. Okay. I quit because I don't get the affirmation I'm looking for, or I'm not getting the permission from other people that either what I'm doing is great or that it's time for me to walk in it. Many times I'll get something and I'll be like, that's good, that's great, I'm gonna go with it. I create a logo, I create stuff. Like I create something probably within a day. You ask my husband, he gets frustrated with me because he can't do it. But I can create something, and within 2 weeks, that's my quit cycle, within 2 weeks, if I have not received the likes, if I haven't received the comments, if I haven't received the subscribes that I need or think that I need and want, then what I do is I stop and I quit. And therein goes my quit cycle again. And it's because I'm not getting that outward affirmation that I feel that I need and that a lot of us feel we need. See, what ends up happening is we say, oh, that's a part of life. That's natural for you to want people to like you, for you to want people to give you a compliment. That's human nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree. I said it to my husband before, and I think it was so powerful when I said it. You should have that already within yourself. You should believe that about yourself already. When somebody else comes on board and believes it too, and they understand you and they affirm you, that's a bonus. That's not the ultimate thing you're striving for. That's not the thing you should be waiting for. What you should be waiting for is for you to get it downloaded to yourself, for you to believe it, accept it within yourself, and for you to walk that thing out yourself. So I'm waiting for upload. Yourself. And then when somebody else comes along and they understand it and they say, yes, you should do that. Yes, you are good at that. Yes, you are called to that. It should be a bonus, not the ultimate word you're looking for. It should not be Bible. It should not be the thing you're striving for. That should be the thing that's just bonus. It should make you feel like, oh, that's nice you believe in me. Oh, that's nice you think that I'm good at that. Oh, that's nice you think I should do that. Because you should already know within yourself that that's what you're supposed to do. You should already know internally. It should already be affirmed within you internally first before you start looking for outward approval. Because this is what happens. If the outward approval never comes, does that mean you're not supposed to do it? If the outward approval never comes, does that mean you won't walk forward in what you know you've been called to do? See, what we do is we put affirmation from the outside world and from what other people think before what we already know to be true within ourselves and what God has already said. We put that first. We say, okay, God, thank you for that. Okay, you said that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, you said that's my purpose. Thank you so much. But they didn't say that I'm good at that. That's right. BOL, appreciate the bonus, but don't live for it. Absolutely. Because then you start to say, well, I know what you're saying is right, God, and I know you, God, and you telling me it's my purpose, but they not following me. Like, I'm not getting likes over here. So if I'm not getting likes, that probably mean that what I'm doing not good enough. Absolutely not. Because when God gives it to you, he gives it to you. Not everybody else. It's not meant for everybody else to understand. It's meant for yourself, and then the people that are called to you and drawn to you, and the ones you're supposed to be ministering to, and the ones whose lives you're supposed to be transforming. It's up to them, because they're going to understand, because your voice is going to make sense to them. Your voice is not going to make sense to everybody else. Remember this: everybody is not your tribe, and what other people think of you is none of your business. Say, what other people think of me is none of my business. Because when you make it your business, then what you start to do is you try to live your life according to their standard. You try to live your life according to who they say you should be, according to who they like for you to be, instead of who you know to be true within yourself. Instead of, I know this is my purpose, and whether you get it or not does not change what I'm going to do. Whether you understand my personality or not, it's not up to you whether it's going to change. It's up to me, and that's between me and God. For years, I struggled with my personality. I struggled with the fact that I was out, I was loud, I could be hyped up, I could be rambunctious, I could be your hype man, I could be all of that. Because for a while, people would just say, ooh, you extra. Can you tone it down? You doing too much. You doing too much. And so the word extra became a negative in my mind. So when I heard it, that said to me, I need to step back. I don't need to be myself. I need to stop being myself, because myself is not accepted here. And that's when you get into the woman in the mirror that I talked about today on the webinar. That's when you start getting into pretending to be somebody that you're not in order for other people to accept you. And so if you keep living your life for other people to accept you, you end up changing. Hey, wave back. You end up changing who you are in order to make other people happy. But this is the thing. Everybody doesn't want you to be the same person. So if you're so dedicated to changing who you are based on who you're around to make them happy or make them comfortable, you're going to have a lot of masks. You're going to have to pretend to be a lot of people. And that's known as schizophrenia from what I know. That's known as being schizophrenic, where you got all these personalities going on. You got all these people up here living in your head. And truthfully, if we being real, it is schizophrenia. Because you're going from one person to another. I could be this over here. I could be this for you. What you need me to be for you today? You need me to be quiet today? I could be quiet today. You need me to be real nice and real gentle and talk kind to you? I could be that today. No, we're not doing that. So in the midst of me struggling with my being extra and being over the top and being an extrovert, it got to the point where I simply had to accept who I was. After I got rid of that woman in the mirror, I said to myself, this is me. This part right here wasn't pretend. When I started sorting through what's me and what's the woman in the mirror, the woman I'm pretending to be all the time, to fight over, to avoid hurt, to avoid pain, to avoid dealing with trauma. When I moved past all of that, I saw that the outward and the excited Allyson and that animated Allyson, that was me all day. 100% me. And I had to get to the point where if somebody said, woo, you extra. I said, thank you. I am extra. I'm over the top. I'm a bright light. I'm shining. I'm colorful. I'm amazing. When I step into the room, the eyes come on me. When I'm in a room of quiet people, I can't help but say something. That's who I am. And the moment I started to accept me and not worry about what the world was going to tell me I should be, then I could really move forward in my purpose. I could really move forward in my destiny, because I wasn't worried about what everybody else had to say. It's this amazing saying that says, the sun, I can't figure out exactly how, I can't think of it exactly, but it says the sun doesn't dim its light for others because it says it's too bright. You either gonna get some shades or you gonna bask in the light. So I say I live by that motto for 6 months. What they think or say about me is none of my business. That's absolutely right. It's not your business. And at this point and where you are in your life, when somebody tells you how they feel or they think you should change, you let them know that your light's not going to be dim for them. They can either get sunglasses or they learn to bask in it. And that's the point we have to get to. So when it comes to your purpose and when it comes to you living out your dreams and your purpose in the world, it's not meant for everybody to understand. It's not meant for everybody to accept, because truth be told, and it's a hard truth to accept, you ain't for everybody. And I had to accept that about myself. As much as one thing I used to struggle with all the time is I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted people to like me so bad. I wanted different people to just like me. Can you like me? I want you to be my friend. I want when you leave my presence, you'd be like, oh, she was so nice. I really like her. No, I had to get out of that. I'm not waiting for everybody to like me, because I'm not for everybody. And I'm not trying to be for everybody, because I know my voice is for a certain group of people. The word I have to give, my purpose, my destiny in the earth is for a certain group of people. And if it's not for you, that's all right, because it's somebody else out there that I am for. And it's somebody else out there that you are for. Somebody you're looking for. Somebody that may give you the same message, but in a different package. And that's all right. And that's what we have to learn to say. If I'm not for you, that's all right. If you don't want to buy this product from me, but you want to buy it from my friend, that's all right. Because I'm not for everybody. And I'm not meant to be for everybody. And we're in this time now of Instagram likes and follows and following the analytics of how many people like this post and how many people commented on this post. What we end up doing is we put purpose to the side. We put destiny to the side for likes and for comments and for acceptance. I can't tell you the amount of women and even men that I see completely changing who they are just to get likes and just to get approval and affirmation. They're completely changing the person that I know them to be, or the person I've experienced in a secluded setting, just to get likes, just to get people to accept them for who they're pretending to be. That's the crazy part. The person that everybody's liking is not who they authentically are. And so what ends up happening is, if I'm speaking to you, because I did it for a while too, I start to change who I am so people will like me, but then I get so far off who I was originally created to be that it's hard to get back. And I end up falling off. And I end up forgetting my purpose. Yes, it's added to the superficial. Social media is a false sense of association. Absolutely. We think we belong to this big friendship, but we do not. We don't know each other. We don't know each other. You may follow your friends, you may follow your family, but truth be told, deep down, if you have not shared the authentic parts of you because you're afraid of rejection, because when you tried to, people rejected you, what ends up happening is you put on this front. And so really on social media, don't nobody really know you unless you're being authentic. And even when you're being authentic, it's hard because everybody don't like it because you're not for everybody. See, once you get past the mentality that you have to be for everybody and that everybody has to like you. Do you do mentorship? Yes, I have a program I'm going to tell you about as soon as I'm done. And as soon as you realize that you're not for everybody, you begin to accept you and you begin to get confident in you. And you say to yourself, do you like me? That's nice. That's a bonus. You want to know why it's a bonus? Because I already like me. I already love me. I already know I'm beautiful. That even digs into relationships, because sometimes we get into relationships with people because we want them to fill a certain void in us that we shouldn't need them to fulfill, because we should have already filled it. So once that happens, we get in this relationship because we want people, hi Derek, congratulations. Oh my gosh, I wish I could be there to see you preach. That's a side note. But once we get to the point where we say, I'm enough for me, I'm enough for me, everybody else saying that they want you in their life is a bonus. It's a bonus. It's an add-on. It's an addition. It's like when you buy a new car and they say, would you like to add anything else? And sometimes you say yes and sometimes you say no. But at the end of the day, you still got a brand new car. Come on, somebody. So you have to begin to say, I am enough for me first. Because once you're enough for you, when somebody else says, man, you're great, man, you're amazing, it's not boosting you up. It's not bringing you to a new level of confidence. No, because I already had it. I already had this confidence. What you saying to me ain't nothing but a bonus. What you saying to me ain't nothing but a, oh, wow, other people see it too. That's what it has to become in your life. So we cannot quit because we're waiting for a like. Do you realize, and I wrote this down, I thought it was so crazy. Do you realize that we are putting our value and our worth in the action of somebody's thumb? Do you realize, or pointer finger? Do you realize that? We have been putting our value and our worth and the affirmation of our purpose and destiny in the world in a double tap. A double tap, y'all. Your beauty, what you have been putting, how you see yourself and your beauty, into a double tap from a random stranger that you either don't know, don't care about, and if we being real, you don't like. But we do it. I don't think I'm beautiful unless you double tap my picture, unless 50 people double tap my picture. And even sometimes 50 is not enough. And what ends up happening is, no matter how many likes you get and no matter how many words of affirmation you get, it's still not enough. It will never be enough until you believe it for yourself first. Then everybody else is a bonus. When everybody else says something, it doesn't fill a void for you. If anything else, it just adds to what you already know to be true about yourself. When the video came out with Red Table Talk with Ayesha Curry, I thought it was so interesting because one, she was speaking the truth about how women feel. That sometimes we feel like, after we had kids, after we have, gone through ups and downs of life, we want somebody to be able to tell us, ooh, she look good. For us to be able to say, ooh, I still got it. And I had an issue with that. I'm not going to lie. I agree with her because I was definitely at that point in my life. I'm not sitting here saying anything she's saying is wrong. Because I, for one, will raise my hand. People like to be complimented. I am people. If we being real, I am people. But I had to come to myself and check myself. Because if I walk around with the void of needing people to affirm me and needing people to like me on a day-to-day basis, that means it's something in me that's missing. And if it's something in me that's missing, nobody else can fill that void but me. Nobody else can speak that true word of affirmation to just seal that thing up on the inside of me except for me. Until I believe it, it's going to be a hole there. And what I believe was Ayesha Curry and many women, we have a hole there. Many men, we have a hole there. And we're thinking that the compliments is going to fill it up. And we're thinking the likes is going to fill it up. And in my story, if I'm being real, if I'm being all the way honest, I thought that sex would do it. I thought that sex would show me real love and real acceptance because I was afraid of rejection. If I'm being real, I thought that me having a boyfriend affirmed that I was a worthy woman, affirmed that I was a great woman. That's what I thought. But the problem was, no matter how many boyfriends I had, no matter how many strange places, strange faces, experiences I had, it still was not enough to fill me. How do I know? Because I kept going for more. I kept going for more. I still needed a new boyfriend. I still needed to be in a strange place, waking up to a strange face. I still needed to get somebody to like me. I still was trying to go for likes. I had probably over 500 pictures of myself in my computer. I'll never forget that. I'm sitting up on my computer. And I'm just seeing selfie after selfie after selfie scrolling by. And I just heard God say, you are so vain. And I said, whoa. He just called me out. The Lord just called me out. But it was true. But I was vain, but I was still insecure. Because no matter how many pictures I took, I still didn't see myself as beautiful. So I could post up 1 million pictures and I could get 1 million likes and go viral. But until that thing was fixed in me, that didn't matter. Because guess what I would have done? I would have become addicted to it. And then I would have kept doing stuff and compromising who I was to get more likes and to get more outside validation. When in reality, none of it was going to fix what was happening on the inside of me. So I would quit because I wasn't getting the likes and I wasn't getting the subscribes on YouTube and I wasn't getting the comments and I wasn't getting the shares and I wasn't going viral within 2 weeks. First of all, that's a terrible timeline to judge myself by success. But then at the same time, why am I looking for outward validation? If I know this is what I'm called to do, if I know this is what I'm purposed in the earth to do, and get this. From the beginning of time, I got this today, from the beginning of time and for all eternity, there will only be one you. One. From the beginning of time and for all eternity, there will only be one you. That's where your value lies. That's where your worth lies. But we're so busy trying to be a carbon copy to get likes and to get subscribers, we don't end up walking in that uniqueness. We have one chance on the inside of us for our purpose to be expressed in the earth, and what we're supposed to be doing in this planet to be expressed in the earth. We don't have time to be trying to be like somebody else. We don't have time. Life is short. The Bible says it's but a vapor. But we spending time not walking in our purpose over a double tap. Come on, y'all. We got to get it together. And I preach to myself because I'm coming out of this and I'm in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship and trying to empower women to really walk in their authenticity. And I'm not getting a whole lot of likes and I'm not getting a whole lot of subscribes. And that's fine. I have to get to the point where I say that's fine. It don't matter because we go walk this thing out. Because I know what I'm called to do. And whether 50 women follow me or 5 or 1.5, I know I still made a difference in the earth. That I'm still living my purpose, that I'm still walking authentically in who I was created to be. Because from the beginning of time and for all eternity, there will only be one me. And if I spend time trying to be like somebody else to get a like, I have wasted my life. I saw a video of Sierra. They're going to do a red table talk with her on Monday. And she said something so powerful. She said, my biggest fear in life is that I waste my life and I waste my time. That's what we're doing every day when we keep quitting what we know we're supposed to do because people don't like it. People don't confirm it. People don't affirm it. People don't follow us. People don't subscribe to us. People don't comment. One shot. We have one shot to be authentically who we are on the earth and for us to be remembered for something and to make an impact for generations. But we're not going to do that if we're so worried about likes and subscribers, y'all. That's right. As long as you touch one, you did your job. It only takes one ripple to cause a wave. Absolutely, Chanel. Absolutely. It only takes one. It only takes one. But we worried about likes and subscribes. And trying to be a top YouTuber. Come on, I'm talking to myself too. We quit because we're not being a top at something. We quit because we're not being shared and we're not being liked on Facebook and Instagram. By a thumb and a double tap. Your beauty is in this. You're putting your beauty in this. You're putting your purpose in this. Do you realize that? In this. And somebody sitting back bored, scrolling through their phone, and they say, oh, that's a cute picture, double tap. And what do? Oh, somebody liked it. Oh, somebody liked it. But then we only get 20. We like, oh, it must not be worth it. Only 20 people like what I said. We cannot do that anymore. We have to stop. Now, I'm calling you to the table. I'm doing a confrontation, as people say. And I'm calling you to the table. It's time to stop putting your worth and your value in a like and in an affirmation and in the words of somebody else. God didn't give it to somebody else. He gave it to you for a reason, for you to walk this thing out in the earth. And he wants it to be expressed through you. He can do it through 5 other people, but he wants it to be done through one, and that's you. That's you. That's you. From the beginning of time until and for all of eternity, there will only be one you. And that's what sets you apart. And that's where your power lies. And that's where your uniqueness lies. And that's how you will stand out, by being who you were created to be. Not a bad carbon copy. The authentic thing, the real thing, your authentic story, your voice, how you look, your hair, that's going to make you stand out. But not stand out to get likes. Stand out to make a difference. But you got to believe you can make a difference here first, before it comes from out here. Because it may never come from out here. And even if it does come from out here, that should just be a bonus. That should never be the thing we strive to attain. So we quit because we're looking for likes and we're looking for affirmation from the outside, when truly the outside is never going to understand what's truly going on in here. Don't quit over some likes. Don't quit over a lack of comments. Don't quit over a lack of shares. Don't quit. Look at that. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit from comparing yourself to somebody else. Just because they in the same vein you're in doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that what you have to offer is not worth it. It's not worth it. Doesn't mean it won't be valued in the earth. Your story is different. Your voice is different. You're still unique. 7.7 billion. I want you to remember that number. 7.7 billion. That's how many people are in existence today. And there's one of you. Only one. Only one. God thought it necessary to only create one because he knew the earth only needed one to get done what needed to be done. Only one. Only one. From the beginning of time and for all eternity, there will only be one of you. And if you're so busy comparing yourself, and if you're so busy waiting on likes and subscribes, and you're so busy thinking you're not worthy, even though your mistakes are in the past, you are not going to do what you're supposed to do. You only got one shot. And we got to get it right. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Do we understand? Everybody know we ain't going to quit, right? So, coming to the end, one thing I offered on my webinar that I want to offer to you all is I have a 4-week live coaching session that I'm going to do for the rest of June. So today is June 1st. So I'm already starting you off, challenging who you are. We not going to quit based on likes and all of that. So for the month of June, we not focused on likes. We not focused on comments. We not focused on shares. We not focused on subscribers. We focus on doing what we're supposed to be doing. All right. Beyond that, there's no way you can fully walk into your purpose, even if you know it, if you are not healed from your past, if you have not dealt with the past, and if you're allowing this woman in the mirror that I keep talking about to live for you. This woman in the mirror is somebody you've given power to run your life. Because you're afraid to deal with the pain. You're afraid to deal with the hurt. You're afraid to deal with the repercussions of the mistakes you've made. You don't want to relive them. You don't want to deal with them. So you let this woman in the mirror put on this front like everything is okay. And you let this woman in the mirror put on this front like your life is together and you got it all together. When in reality, you're hiding behind this woman in the mirror that's protecting you. You're hiding behind this woman in the mirror in the corner, trying not to deal with the emotions of what you went through. Trying not to deal with the emotions and the repercussions for the mistakes that you made. But it's time to deal. And it's time to get rid of that woman in the mirror, because the longer she stays there, the further you get from your purpose. Because she makes mistakes. She does things out of desperation. She does things that she thinks will protect you, that she thinks will help you to fit in and get likes and subscribes. She'll compromise herself, looking like you. But it's time to put an end to that. It's time to accept her, acknowledge her, and dismiss her. Because the only way that you can fully live in who you're supposed to be is if you do that. If you get rid of this false person you've been putting up in front of everybody else. The only way you're not going to quit is if you understand your value and understand that you have a purpose in this earth that can only be done one time through you. So if this is something that you're interested in, I'm starting next week, next Saturday. All right, next Saturday, we're going to get started. It's going to be live online with me for the next 4 Saturdays. If you sign up today, we'll get a one-on-one coaching session, one-on-one mentoring session with me to really help pull this thing out of you. Because I dealt with the woman in the mirror. She was living life for me. She was living life for me until one day I confronted her. And I said, you can't have control of my life anymore. And that's when I started to live. And that's when I started to heal. Because the healing had to come first before I could start truly walking in something and truly living that thing out. After I did my webinar today, I wanted to cry because I felt like I finally released this thing that was supposed to be in the earth. But I couldn't have released it if I was still dealing with pain and if I was still dealing with hurt and shame. So it's time to break that so we can start walking fully into what we're supposed to be doing and what we're called to do. I gave example of 2 people that I felt were walking in their calling still, but had not dealt with the woman in the mirror. I talked about Amy Simple McPherson. This woman had over 5,000 members in her church. Ambulances would line up at her church's door every Sunday because she walked in healing and authority and power. But this woman, something was wrong up here. She was dealing with the woman in the mirror. The woman in the mirror can still operate in your purpose, but the issue is it's still tainted. And at some point, that hurt and that pain is going to come up, and it's going to reveal itself, and it's going to taint what you've been building. And this woman, she went missing for 5 years, lied and said she had gotten taken by a Mexican cartel, dealt with multiple divorces, had multiple lovers. But because she had not dealt with her woman in the mirror, she had all of these things going on behind the scenes. And she ended up dying early age from an overdose because she did not deal with that woman in the mirror. Whitney Houston won Grammys. Amazing performer, amazing actress. Had an amazing daughter. But she didn't deal with whatever was going on with her internally. And we know what happened with her. Taken way too far, taken way beyond her time, way before her time, because she didn't deal with whatever was eating her alive inside. She was putting on this front like she was just Whitney Houston, a superstar, when in reality, she was dealing with some stuff on the inside that she would not confront and she would not face. But then I gave the example of Sierra. And we all know Sierra, she's a great performer, won a Grammy, but she was in a bad relationship. And it was things going on in her and things going on with Future that just could not be solved. So the engagement broke off. But she did something different from Amy Semple McPherson and Whitney Houston. She took some time. She sat back. She dealt with her pain. She confronted the mistakes that she made in her life. She focused on herself. She focused on her son. She got centered within herself. She knew herself and she grew herself. And because she did that, she came out on the other side on top. Not just because she got married to a man that loves her unconditionally, but she got centered within herself to be able to live authentically and to walk authentically. She's talking different. She's walking different. She's dressing different because she dealt with the woman in the mirror. It's time to deal with the woman in the mirror so you can walk authentically in your purpose. Because even if you walk in your purpose while you're still letting the woman in the mirror run your life, she will still sabotage it. Sabotage will still come because it's not coming from an authentic place. So I'm charging $97 if you sign up today. You get the 4 weeks with me. I have a workbook and you're going to get homework and we're going to I'm going to walk you through this thing. Where what you start off with is we start off with changing your mindset. Changing your mindset about how you see yourself. Changing your mindset about how you see your beauty, how you see your life. We're going to confront the lies you've been telling yourself. Then we're going to accept and acknowledge and dismiss the woman in the mirror. That's the next step. Because in that, not just are we saying bye-bye, we're also saying, I'm ready to deal. I'm ready to handle the things that I've been going through. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to woman up and face what I've been going through and heal from it. Then we get into you facing the real you. And we're going to do some mirror challenges where we talk to the real us in the mirror. Us seeing her maybe for the first time in a long time. And then we move out of that and then we go into identifying and having real concrete steps to walking in your purpose. And I say identify and not find because the purpose is not lost. The purpose has been there the whole time. And it's actually easier to identify than you think because you've probably already been operating in it. So I invite you, if you would like to, I'm going to put the link here. It's at my website, heygirlintl.com. And I'm going to post that up there for you to be able to join if you would like. I would love to have you. Posting it here too. Oops, spelling it wrong. heygirlintl.com. All right, give me a few minutes to go over there and make sure everything is working the way it should be. But I would love to have you. I would love to help you walk this thing out. I've walked it out. I feel amazing on the other side. I feel like I'm truly birthing out what I'm supposed to be doing in the earth. And I want you to have the same experience. I don't want you to be lost like I was. I don't want you to feel low like I did. I want you to walk in power. I want you to walk in your uniqueness. All right? Thanks for joining me on this. Don't